Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to crochet this star cat toy. It's very easy to do and your cat will have a lot of fun playing with it. So let's get started. For this project I'm using 4-ply yarn, 4.5mm crochet hook, tapestry needle, scissors. I'm also using catnip. You don't need to have catnip. I bought this at Target. You can skip this if you don't have any, and some sort of stuffing. We're going to start with our slip knot, chain 2. Into our first chain, we're going to work 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to slip stitch to join our round into our first single crochet right here. We're done with round 1. Okay, round 2, you're going to need your marker. And we're going to work 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So here we go. I'm going to do 1 single crochet and 1 more into the same space. One more time. 2 single crochets into the same stitch or space. 1 and 2. So continue working, putting 2 single crochets into each stitch around, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. At the end of this round, you should have 10 single crochets. Let's move to round 3. Again, place your marker, and we're going to work 1 single crochet in one stitch and 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So here we go. 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. We're increasing on every other stitch. So one more time. 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet. Continue working and I'll meet you at the end of this round. Let's move on to round 4. Round 4, we're going to do another increase. So we're going to work 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets. So here we go. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. One more time. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and 2 single crochets into the following stitch. So continue working and I'll meet back with you at the end of this round. At the end of this round, you should have 20 single crochets. Alright, we're finished with round 4 and moving on to round 5. You can go ahead and remove your marker, you don't need it. And in this round, we're going to be working on our star points. So into the same stitch right here, we're going to be working 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, pull through all 3 loops, 1 double crochet, pull through 2 and 2, chain 1, and now we're going to work half double crochet and 1 more single crochet. So here's our first point. Don't forget there's 1 stitch here, so make sure you slip stitch into that. So go ahead and slip stitch 3 times. So that was 1, 2, and 3. Into our 4th stitch, we're going to repeat our cluster, which is single crochet, half double crochet, 1 double crochet, chain one, one half double crochet, and one single crochet. And once again, slip stitch, one, slip stitch into the next stitch, two, and one more slip stitch. That's our third slip stitch. So into our fourth stitch, we're going to work another cluster or another point. So keep going around, and I'll meet you at the end of the round, and I'll show you how to finish off. Alright, so I went ahead and I worked on my 5 points. Now we're just going to slip stitch 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and we're ready to fasten off. I'm going to leave a long tail so I can sew my 2 stars together. Just pull, tighten, and you're done. So go ahead and work on one more star just like this, and I'll show you how to join them together and how to stuff him. So here I have my 2 stars done. I have one with short tails and one with a long one because we're only going to need one to sew. So let's sew our tails. I have my tapestry needle ready to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a stitch and go around. Just pick up a stitch and tighten. Pick up a stitch and tighten our center of the star because we don't want a hole there. So I'm just going to do a couple more. I feel like there's a hole here, so I can go ahead and stitch that in. So just random stitches, just so it's keeping them together. You can check it and it looks good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a couple of stitches back and forth, and that's it. I'm gonna cut. Just want to cut. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and work on this tail on one of them. Remember, the long one I'm leaving because I need that to sew them together. So once again, this is our front. I'm gonna move my yarn to the back, and I'm just picking up a stitch and just sewing back. Just picking up a stitch and coming towards the center of my star. So I'm just gonna go ahead and weave. So I'm just weaving my end, and one more. That should be good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. All right, one star ready to go. I'm gonna work on the center of my second star. See how I have a hole? I'm gonna go ahead and close that off. So I'm just gonna sew, pick up a stitch and sew around it, pick up a stitch, tighten it, and it usually works. Just tighten it, check. All right, that looks close to me. Just gonna pick up a couple more stitches, come back around, and it's ready. Let's cut that, and we're ready to sew our 2 stars together. Our wrong sides are going to be facing each other, and I'm going to start sewing right in the middle here, and I'm trying to align my points with each one. You don't want to sew it like this. You want to sew it together. So go ahead and put your yarn through your needle. All right, and we're going to whip stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and start here. Here's my tail, And I'm just gonna bring my needle to my second star and see how I'm picking up both of them. I have my V and my V here, and I'm just gonna sew it together. And then again, to my next stitches, I'm gonna pick up both of the V's like so, and stitch it together. And continue doing the same method, just weaving them in, sewing them together. So I'm just sewing them together. Here I'm coming to my point, and I want to make sure it aligns, so I'm picking up my V and my second V. There we go. And again. All right, so here we're coming to our other side. Just sewing this together. Make sure you're picking up your V's. And like that, you're just going to continue sewing. And I'll meet back with you when you have your 3 points sewn, and we're gonna stuff. So here I am coming to my 3rd point, picking up my stitches. Both of the V's are being sewn. Alright, so I've just sewed my 3 points right here, and I have an opening. I'm going to continue sewing up until this point right here. So I'm picking up my stitches again, making sure I'm picking up my V's. So I'm picking them up, see, like this. Just makes it tighter. Okay. So here I'm coming to my point, top of my point, picking up my V. That's enough for now. We can go ahead and stuff. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I put my catnip into my stuffing. So here I have a little piece of stuffing. So I'm just kind of making a nest. And I'm going to go ahead and scoop out just a little bit of catnip. Don't put too much because it's going to make a mess. So I'm just adding some catnip. That should be enough. If you're not using catnip, you don't need to worry about this step. You can just stuff your star. So once I have my bundle of catnip, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more of stuffing. I'm trying to hold it as much as I can before it just comes apart, and by putting it into like a little bundle, it helps it stay put. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding stuffing. Don't overstuff your star because it's just gonna lose its shape. So I'm just stuffing it just a little bit. Just gonna add a little bit of stuffing to my points, and I'm using my hook. So here's a little bit more, And I think that should be enough for now. If anything, I'm going to continue sewing, and I'll see if I need to add a little bit of stuffing here. Alright, so now that we stuffed it, let's finish up sewing. So picking up my stitches from both sides and whip stitching them together, closing all the gaps. Okay, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of stuffing. See how it's empty? So just a tiny piece. There we go. That should be enough. Now, as your cat gonna be playing with this star, some of the catnip will fall out, and that's okay. I'm sure your cat will be spoiled with this toy. And you can make a whole bunch of them. Alright, so here I am. I just finished sewing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and find a stitch, bring up a loop like this, and I'm just going to put my needle through it and tighten it like so. And then I'm going to put my needle inside my work. Just going to pull it out. See how it hides it? I don't need to worry about it. Then one more time, I'm going to find a stitch, and I'm just going to randomly take my needle and pull it out. So you're done. Cut your yarn. So here's your finished star. It came out super cute and chunky, and I'm sure your cat is going to have a lot of fun playing with it. I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.